Do you remember the weeks leading up to Skyrim's launch? The year is 2011, and you've hardly been this excited for something your entire life. The Elder Scrolls V is about to be unleashed upon the world with its promises of radiant quests and a functioning economy and sawmills that you can sabotage, directly impacting said economy. Ain't that right, Todd?
You can actually sabotage this wood mill if you want.
You could live out your wildest dreams, slay dragons and wield powerful magic, own a house and get a girlfriend and I thought I removed that from the script. All of it represented by this guy, Mr. John Skyrim himself, wearing the horned iron helmet. Simply looking at this helmet would instantly teleport you to those frozen peaks of northern Tamriel. But why this helmet? So November comes around, you get your hands on the decade's most anticipated game. Skyrim! You wake up, you escape certain death, you know, the usual. And before even being able to set foot in Skyrim as a free man, you come across this. Wait. Isn't that the legendary helmet from the trailer already? And why is it kind of trash? Throughout this video, I will take you on a journey where we take a long, hard look at one of the most distinctive pieces of equipment in gaming history. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy. When Bethesda promoted Skyrim, the Dragonborn we got to see on billboards, ads, and magazines was always presented in the same way. This rugged warrior clad in Viking-inspired armor, with the horned helmet as the centerpiece, making this the visual shorthand for the game itself. But why? There are several reasons, some of which are very obvious, and maybe I'm just dragging this out way more than I should, and this whole video could have been an email. I just want to make a video that bad. But just hear me out, okay? Recognition. It makes a good and recognizable silhouette. If I show you this, you already know exactly what you're looking at. Let's play a little game. I will show you a silhouette, and I will give you some time to think. Pause the video if you need, and I'll reveal what is hidden beneath the silhouette, okay? Silhouette number 1. If you said the Nightingale hood, you would be correct. If you were able to guess that, that's actually pretty impressive, considering the silhouette itself kinda looks like something else. Moving on. What is this? That is the guard helmet. And those were pretty hard, so let's do a simple one instead. As a finish. The last one, okay? A simple one. Here it is. Obviously the Daedric helmet. Accessibility. Instead of showing the Dragonborn off in some late-game Daedric or Dragonbone armor that most players probably wouldn't even know existed until you dedicated at least dozens of hours into the game, they showed him off in what is essentially just rusty old hand-me-downs. The iron helmet and his otherwise normal armor presents this attainable and grounded look. He doesn't look like some demigod or final boss, he just looks cool. But realistically cool. Timeless branding. By doing it this way, Bethesda essentially created a logo. Despite the fact that they already have a logo that is also very recognizable and very cool, they were able to transform this low-level piece of loot into a symbol so iconic and distinctive that our grandkids, decades from now, will likely still recognize it as Skyrim as they prepare themselves for the launch of the Elder Scrolls 6. Also, you can't really market a game like Skyrim showing landscapes, castles, and abandoned fortresses and dragons. There needs to be a character for people to latch onto, a mascot, if you will. Had they shown billboards with Khajiits, orcs, and elves, and the Nord, it would just kind of muddy the message. They need to stick to one guy. One man. One man. One desire.
Should have acted. They're already here.
The Elder Scrolls Stone of the Return. Fire. But there is one they fear. Dragonborn goes through a door. Okay, whatever. A Nord dressed in basic Skyrim armor is default enough to represent the average player in the game's setting, and since faces are a personal thing and you're not really supposed to create this canon Dragonborn with these games, they masked it with the Iron Helmet, letting players project themselves in a way onto the Dragonborn. In a genius twist, that was a twist, before even being able to set foot in Skyrim as a free man, you discover that this legendary helmet is just iron. Nothing special about it whatsoever. You will find it on tables, in chests, or on the heads of bandits. You can even craft it yourself if you want to. But what if this disconnect was actually intentional design philosophy? By handing you the marketed Dragonborn helmet right away, Bethesda is essentially saying this isn't the only way to play. You don't have to chase the fantasy of being the specific Dragonborn promoted in the ads and the trailers. You're free to wear the helmet or ditch it right away and go off and forge your own destiny. And be whatever you want to be. A warrior, a mage, or the inevitable stealth archer. Many of us went in expecting the Iron Helmet to kind of mark us as the chosen hero. You know, that one item you would find at the top of a mountain, resting on the skull of some Viking warrior. Instead, it's revealed to be just some generic piece of loot just lying about. And, oh, is that the actual white one, or are you just happy to see me? If the Iron Helmet was super rare, I'm pretty sure most players would almost feel forced to wear it the day you'd finally acquired it, you know? Like, I can't throw this away. I finally got the Skyrim helmet. I'm almost John Skyrim now. Making this the face of Skyrim, but making it so easily attainable ensures that you're free to be who you want to be right from the get-go, freeing you of all shackles, both literally and figuratively. The fact that the Dragonborn wears the same gear as your average Nord suggests that he isn't born of noble blood or rare equipment. He's just your friendly neighborhood Dragonborn. And is that Ragnar the Red? Hold on. Was boastful no more when his ugly red head rolled around on the floor. Where did that come from? Alright, okay, sorry about that. Got a little carried away there. Where was I? Yeah, the Dragonborn is a normal dude, just like you and me. You do start out the game as a convict on your way to execution. This shows that Skyrim's chosen one can be cut from the same cloth as everyone else.
Let me stop you right there.
Who the fuck are you?
I was just enjoying my daily dose of Skyrim when I felt a disturbance in the Force. Someone out there was saying that the Dragonborn is not born of noble blood. Would you know anything about that?
Yeah.
Cut from the same cloth as everyone else? Do you get to the cloud?
I will digress a little here and talk about the whole Dragonborn thing, what it means to be a Dragonborn, how does someone become Dragonborn. The people of Tamriel aren't really sure either. They believe it's hereditary, which is partially true, but one thing is for sure, it's a blessing of Akatosh, the dragon god of time. And Akatosh tends to, you know, throw out his blessings in times of dire need when the world needs it most. Why the fuck is our convict Nord then blessed with this? And that's the interesting part. And there's this whole debate about this. You will find hundreds of Redditors boldly typing out their headcanons as facts and quoting some interview Todd Howard allegedly gave GameStop in March 2011, which does not exist, by the way. Being the dragon god of time, he knows where and when shit will go down. So when Alduin the World Eater returns, so does the last Dragonborn, with the blessing of Akatosh inside him. This is what I believe, and these are my notes. Skyrim's Iron Helmet is more important than you think. I feel like I'm back in school. Being Dragonborn is something innate. It's called Dragonborn, after all. Countless Dragonborn have existed throughout the years. Their numbers may have dwindled, but some remain. Our character happens to be one of them. Born with the soul of a dragon. But the powers that come with it is activated, in a sense, when Akatosh wills it. I think Alduin arrives at the point of execution in Helgen because he senses something special. He senses a dragon, or the soul of one at least. But when he arrives, looking around, scanning the area, which I believe it looks like he's doing, it's not just like, "Rah!" He kind of lands there and inspects first. But when he can't really see anything in what is essentially just a mosh pit of humans, he just starts blasting. I really see no reason for the Alduin, the World Eater himself, to make a pit stop in Helgen, unless he sensed something worth checking out. The point of talking about all these Alduin things is that you always had that dog within you, you know? But it was revealed once Milmur the dragon at Whitewind was killed. Alright, that was it. That was it, I believe. And you can go now. In traditional RPGs, gloriously epic armor is almost used as bait or incentive, kind of showing players how badass they might look if they just keep grinding. Bethesda did a full 180 on this. Instead of showing some bulky badass knight or some magic elf, I don't know, they showed off some random ass guy. This opened up the roleplay. The moment you set foot in Skyrim, you're already visually as much the Dragonborn, like the Dragonborn from the ads, since you could get that piece of shit helmet right away. The marketing wasn't about showing you the reward at the end, it was about showing you the starting point. It was about saying, here it is, now the rest is up to you. Imagine the Skyrim trailer, but the protagonist is instead dripped out in Dragonbone armor or Daedric armor or something like that. He would look badass, sure, but he would also seem untouchable, like the dragons never even had a chance. Our Dragonborn is shown gasping for air as he's sprinting through the forest trying to escape. He's wearing the basic iron helmet with straps of leather surrounding an otherwise naked body. He even gets knocked over. A simple warrior at the wrong place at the wrong time until he opens his normal human mouth and unleashes a magically bad breath. He could be just about anyone. He's just an average Nord, but after taking offense to being torched by the dragon, his gaming rage kicks in and out comes this Fushkut Cha shout, which we would never actually hear in game. We got the slowed plus reverb version. This kind of ties in with what I was saying about the Dragonborn being cut from the same cloth as everyone else. This is some super cheesy stuff I'm going to say right now, but I wrote it down while writing the script, and I will say it. And you cannot stop me. All of this about how the Dragonborn is just this normal, scared guy gasping for air conveys this message that we all have some greatness within ourselves. You just need to put yourself out there, push yourself, and achieve or like activate the power that's within you, your inner dragon soul. So, you know, quit that shitty job, tell that person how you feel, kill that dragon! Skyrim's Iron Helmet is also deeply tied to Norse Viking-inspired imagery, obviously. Historically, the Vikings never actually wore horns. That is a later romanticized version which stuck in popular memory. Horns became shorthand for Viking warrior, and Skyrim leans heavily into that association with the Iron Helmet. I mean, the entirety of Skyrim is basically just Scandinavia with dragons and magic. It's just Scandinavia with magic. We already have your mom. With their jarls ruling their holds and the draugr protecting their ancient burial sites. The blacksmith Alvor, which is just seriousness in Norwegian. By putting the Dragonborn in this horned Viking helmet, Bethesda basically tapped into a ready-made mythos, instantly tying the Dragonborn to fearless legendary Viking warriors in Norse mythology, granting him this mythic, magical presence right from the get-go as he stands there nonchalantly just looking. Bethesda may have also pulled off a subtle psychological trick here, albeit unknowingly to them, but it's one that other franchises have used for decades, and it's very effective. A recognizable logo is often more than good enough to sell a game, but many franchises go further by anchoring themselves to a specific piece of gear or item that is marketed so heavily that it becomes synonymous with the game itself. Take Master Chief's helmet. It is clean, simple, and unchanging, allowing players to project themselves onto Master Chief in a way. Or Assassin's Creed's hidden blade. In-game, it's just a practical tool for assassination, but Ubisoft made this the heartbeat for the entire franchise. It appears in every trailer, on all box art, every cosplay. That little flick of the wrist is synonymous with Assassin's Creed because of how it was marketed. Even Gordon Freeman's crowbar from Half-Life. An ordinary tool, it's just a crowbar, but because he used it and the way it is used, it transformed into an icon. Skyrim's Iron Helmet falls neatly into this lineage of iconic pieces of equipment or whatever. Whatever this category actually is. I don't know, I'm just making shit up. Can't you tell? With one important difference. In most of these games, most, not all, the iconic item in question is a constant. It is tied to the character in a way. Master Chief without the helmet isn't really Master Chief, and remove the hidden blade from Ezio Auditore and he's just a violent but charming Italian.
Give it to me.
Guards!
Skyrim's Iron Helmet is not tied to the character at all. The Iron Helmet in Skyrim is just common loot, but yet Bethesda managed to elevate it into a cultural icon. And that's the brilliance here. A normal low-level item was transformed into something extraordinary, not through power, stats, or rarity, but through marketing and collective memory. The helmet became this visual anchor for Skyrim, and once that spread, it gave the community something tangible to latch onto. Everybody wanted the Skyrim helmet. Even I tried making one. Here's a video that 12-year-old me posted around the time of Skyrim's launch.
It's a helmet I made. I made it when I was 12-year-old, which is like 2 months ago, but whatever. I made it myself. Look at that shit.
Amazing. And this matters beyond the game itself. Having these signature items tied to your game allow the community to bring pieces of these virtual worlds into our reality. They all show up in cosplay and art and memes, the hidden blades, the Skyrim helmet, the crowbar from Half-Life, the Halo helmet. They become rallying points for the community, deepening the bond between the players and the game. And Skyrim's Iron Helmet achieved exactly that, not by being rare or powerful, but by being ordinary in the world of Skyrim and Tamriel, but extraordinary in ours. So, in the end, the most basic piece of gear in Skyrim became one of the most powerful symbols in gaming.